opening weekend came pretty quick. I mean, I practiced all summer, got in shape for shooting, for hiking. I was really stoked to be able to go out for the first time. We drove up a dirt road quite a ways, got to our spot, loaded up the four-wheeler full of stuff. Loaded up on here. If you look closely here, see a cow out there feeding in that green stuff. Dustin and I just four-wheeled in, secret spot. It's all loaded up. What do you think?
It's gonna be good.
Elk are in trouble. Tent is set up, ready to go. Brought the 6-man in here, a couple miles in. Last year we hiked in here for Dustin's bull, and this time we decided to bring the four-wheeler. But we saw a couple cows coming in here. We saw 2. We know there's more somewhere in the timber, but they're kind of making their way through. So that's our plan for the morning. We're just gonna go find those cows, and I'm sure there's gonna be bulls around. It's still early. It's September. Today's Friday before opener, so it's a little bit early. So I'm hoping we can find some like satellite bulls that aren't quite grouped up with cows yet, and those are gonna be the ones we're gonna call in. I just got done shooting at the tip of one of those trees to confirm that my bow is good to go and ready, and it is. So ready to go for tomorrow. After we got some grub in us, ate some good food, and got our water and tent and all that type of stuff set up, Dustin and I took off up the mountain. I left my big camera behind, and we actually spotted some elk. We spotted one herd really close to us. We kind of snuck up to them at like 30 or 40 yards. And then we actually spotted a different herd down in the jaw, kind of by where we spotted actually a cow when we drove in, or four-wheeled in. And there's, I think, 7 or 8 of them all together bunched up. And then I didn't get very good video of it, but we actually did see another herd with a couple of good bulls in it, probably a mile away. And we decided that was going to be our best bet for the morning hunt. It's about 8:30. We saw a ton of elk tonight. Dustin. Ready for bed, but we're going to get up early in the morning and see if we can't find some elk. Did you hear him? Bugle though.
No. All those cows are going. One going straight down.
There's a bull down here. Okay, a little update. Dustin and I are in here about 3 miles from camp. This morning we got on some elk. It's hard to film it. I just had the GoPro going. You can see on my head, but we got on them early. They started feeding to where we wanted them. We were gonna sneak in front of them and try to intercept them. Maybe get a shot. You never know. And the outfitter I was talking about came up here and got set up early this morning because he knows what the elk do, and he knew where they're gonna be at. So I think he had shooters set up right where the elk were gonna cross, and the elk turned around and we had no idea. And then later we saw horses going up there, so put 2 and together, and it sounds like they got a cow down. But we hustled and we got back on the elk, except we didn't because they're about 300 yards across the drainage, and it is vertical, and there's no way we're getting to them. So it's a bummer, but
this is a big drainage. Got a lot more opportunities at elk. I'm hoping we saw another group closer to camp yesterday that we could go maybe find and mess with. So that's kind of the plan. Alright, final day. We're going out. Got into some bugles yesterday. Had a chance at a bull, but something spooked him and didn't quite come through. So we're heading back out today. Woke up the next day, got up, started hiking around, and I let off a couple bugles. Basically, we heard a bugle probably 2,000 yards away, and it's just straight down garbage stuff that you don't want to be in. And with me having a flight block in the morning and classes also, I couldn't risk killing a bull down there and having to miss that stuff. And Dustin also had work, so I think it was in both of our best interests to kind of let that bull go, unfortunately. So we kind of packed up, got back to camp, picked up all of our stuff there, loaded up the four-wheeler, and drove back to the trailhead.
I kept at it in the preceding weeks following Dustin and I's hunt. Moving to a new city with almost 58,000 people meant that finding new spots was going to be a lot harder than it had been before. With sparse sightings of elk and a couple grouse and deer here and there, I was discouraged. Once the rut ended and rifle season began, we picked the steepest and ugliest places to go and started hiking. We found snow, crazy terrain, but we couldn't find one thing: elk. The last week of hunting season, for me, would be spent back home with my grandfather, chasing his cow elk B-tag. I had that to look forward to.
So I had the last week of rifle season off for Thanksgiving break from school. No flying, no college, no nothing. I just kind of got to come back and relax. So it was very nice. Majority of the time, I spent it hunting with my grandpa. I met up with him, I think, like the second day I got back. We went out to a little hike. Didn't really see much. I think it was Thursday I went out with him, and we really got into the elk. Well, it's always a good morning when you wake up and you're going hunting. So, yeah, today we're waking up, and we're going to go do some hunting. I'm with my grandpa today, and we're going to go see if we can get his cow tag filled. Maybe if there's a bull, I'll shoot one too. We're trying to get him an elk or maybe a deer if we see one. So now we're just hiking and keeping our eyes open. We decided to split up. We figured it'd be more beneficial for us to cover more ground and kind of push game to each other. Anyway, he kind of went up, I went lower, and I started sneaking around this knob. I just saw those elk on the mountain just radiating up there, and I pulled up my bino, took a look. I looked at him for probably 20 minutes, and I didn't see a bull. I think there's 15 cows, maybe something like that, more or less. And I kind of looked up the hill, and I kind of see my grandpa kind of tiptoeing through the woods. He had no idea those elk were there. And I kind of whistle at him, get his attention. He comes down to me.
They're just feeding right through there, aren't they? I want to see them come down that. That one definitely looks the color of a bull. Third one in. I can't make his head out though. Now that's all open over there. You can't sneak on them. Yeah. What we can hope for is that they'll come down a little further. I'd like to get to that tree right there. Hide underneath that tree right there. You see what I'm talking about? So let's go down here and sneak back up and lay against that tree and that log right there, okay? Shoot him. We'll see. cares?
No, that's a good deal.
Right here. $346.
346. They're all broadside. Are you on one right now?
And that one that's facing to the left.
Yeah, that's the one you're on?
Yeah.
That's a pretty good shot.
I shot the bottom, middle one.
Okay.
Where'd she go? She was turning and looking away. Did you see her?
I didn't know which one you were shooting at.
The second one.
I saw one go in the trees and disappear, but...
Oh, I got my nose.
Did ya?
Yeah.
Well, we better get back and see if we can find him again.
Boy, I had a good shot at her, I thought.
Where'd you aim at?
Just she was looking back like this, and I shot right at her shoulder behind her neck.
Okay.
My shot was very confident. I was laying over a log, over a backpack, very rested. The only thing was I knew I hit the animal, but I've never scoped my nose with my rifle, and I did it. And it was rather funny. But yeah, the shot felt really, really good.
Did you aim high?
Yeah, a little bit. Did they all run away though?
I do not see an elk right now.
What?
I do not see one right now. Oh, there's one.
I thought I heard a whap though. Come on.
It's pretty cool to be out here with him. Guy's 73 years old and he's still log hopping over just shit like this. Excuse my language, but this is just terrible stuff to happen. But it's worth it. Meat in the freezer, baby. But we're gonna back out. It's in some thick timber and we don't need to be wading through that in the dark. So come back in the morning, regroup, find your dead elk and go get them, pack them out. That's how we're gonna do it.
It got dark on us really fast. I mean, my grandpa shot that cow probably 40 minutes before shooting light. We started log hopping a little bit, and it just started to get to the point where it snowed the night before, and the logs were all slippery. And with my grandpa being 73 years old, it just wasn't a great idea to be doing that in the dark. So he made the decision. I agreed with him. We decided to pull out, come back in the morning. So we hiked out a couple miles, got back to the truck, and then got back to the house. And I just remember getting in the hot tub with my grandpa that night at his house, and I downloaded the video of him shooting the cow, and the kill shot just looked awesome. I had no doubt in my mind that we weren't going to be packing elk out in the morning.
Pray to God, help we didn't suffer.
We're hiking right now. Get the game card stashed. Plan is to kind of try and drag this thing out. Well, it's not a super bad hike. It's all downhill, but we'll see. It's still gonna suck. Elk are big animals. But catch up to you in a bit.
I mean, we were at it bright and early the next day looking for that elk. I brought my rifle just in case, you know, something happened. And my grandpa actually left his at home. I mean, we probably looked for 2 or 3 hours, no blood, no nothing. And we finally started grid searching, so we were just going back and forth kind of to where he shot it. And we were able to trace that cow's steps from the kill shot video I had on my camera, and we could like pinpoint, okay, it jumped over this log, it jumped over this log. And on each of those logs, there was a little scuff of snow, like where it had kind of crossed, but there wasn't a drop of blood anywhere. I remember my grandpa being so disappointed.
Well, every elk's important to me because I'm a meat hunter. It means a lot for me to make sure that it's humane and ethical to the elk, that I get those animals, and it's very important.
Because it's not just an elk to him, it's like it feeds him and his wife for the year. So it's not just wounding an elk, it's not having a freezer full of meat. And that really hits home for him. That's really important to him. It had been about 2 hours of searching. And I kind of walked down, I looked up on the hill, and I just saw a great whitetail buck. Yeah, I couldn't pass that deer up. I just looked at him, and he was sitting there at 300 yards. And I kind of laid over my backpack and got him in my sight and just stared at him.
Okay. I'm out here with my grandpa right now, and I just pretty dang good whitetail buck. I think I'm gonna shoot. I dumped him. He's a stud. Well, I shot a deer. That's pretty freaking cool, and he's a stud. So, I'm gonna go get him. It's pretty awesome. He's a good buck, man. I'm gonna drag him down here and meet up with my grandpa and look at him. Well, it's hard to see, but my buck's laying right up there, and he's kind of still twitching a little bit. I'm gonna walk up on him. I think he's a good buck. He's a stud, but I'm gonna take this thing back. I'm gonna go help my grandpa look for some more blood. We shot an elk last night, and it's a priority after I get this thing taken care of. So I'm gonna deal with this. My grandpa's gonna keep tracking over there, but super cool that I was fortunate enough to harvest a nice buck anyway. I'd say this is a pretty great way to end the season. So awesome whitetail buck. I couldn't be more stoked, honestly. 5x4. This might be the biggest buck I've ever killed. It's gonna come close to last year's, but I'm just super grateful to be able to come out here and do this. You know, I'm so happy to have good health, good access. It's just been wonderful. Glad for all the awesome people in my life too. My grandpa, I wouldn't be doing this probably without him. So awesome. But I want to thank all you guys for watching and supporting me and subscribing. So yeah, MoElk, baby. This is awesome. Couldn't be happier. But that's that, man. Still got one more archery deer tag to fill. Well, a couple doe tags too, but this will be the rifle buck. I'm super stoked with him. So yeah, awesome. All right, leaving the deer here. Whew. I'm gonna see if we can locate the elk my grandpa shot yesterday. So we're going back in. If we find that elk, it's gonna be a long rest of the night. It's about 1 o'clock right now. Shot it about 4:45 yesterday, so it's been sitting a while, which is not ideal, but we're gonna go hopefully find it. That's our goal, so see you guys later.
Our main priority was the elk. I wanted to go up and get that deer taken care of as quickly and as efficiently as I possibly could. Because I knew we had an elk possibly down somewhere. So I got it gutted out, took some pictures, did all that, drug it back to a good stopping point, and I actually met back up with my grandpa, and we looked for another 3 or 4 hours.
Maybe with God's help she lived, which I think she did. Well, I was back in there most every day for a week, at least 3 hours, 2 to 3 hours a day trying to find that cow, and I never did find her, but we had no snow, very little, spotty. So, and she went uphill, downhill, so usually that's the case. They'll live going uphill, which they always go down if they're hurt bad enough, with all my experience over the years. So, yeah, I do think she lived, which I'm hopefully, she's fine now. But Mother Nature only knows. That's okay. That's the way it goes. But not from lack of trying. I had actually 64 days of hunting in from bow season, rifle season this year. So it's not from lack of effort, for sure.
So once rifle season ended and I found some more time, I made it back over to chase some river bottom whitetail in the late season. At the beginning of January, I shot this nice and fat freezer queen. I got it done. Pretty excited. Shot this thing at like 20 yards. Closest I've had a deer in a while. So I couldn't pass up the opportunity. Finally, on January 10th, I had the best day of deer hunting I've ever had. I shot one doe, then another, and a nice whitetail buck. It was crazy lucky and an awesome experience.
Holy, got him with the bow.
Thanks for watching MoElk. Subscribe to MoElk and follow us on Instagram. Thanks for watching.
Thank you for making it this far in the video. If you liked what you saw and you want to support us in a different way, head on over to MoElkoutdoors.com. Here we have a variety of merchandise, from durable stickers to hats with our logo on it.